Welcome to episode number 10. Yes, we've reached now 10 episodes of The Roar, the show for all things Hershey Cubs players, coaches, personnel, and news. I'm Clay Thomas. Joshua Gerhart will not be joining us this week. He's quite the busy man, so this week we're going to miss out on Josh, but he'll be back next week. I am your host and broadcaster for the Hershey Cubs. With us today is assistant captain Ben Maurer. Thank you for joining us, and how are you doing today, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on today.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. I know we've tried to work this out plenty of times, but you were going through a moving process with your family, so things have been kind of all over the place for you.
hmm
So with that, how have you been able to manage getting back and forth between practice and moving and games and whatnot?
Right now it's settled down, but I would say at the start it was a lot to do, like to go home after practice, move my stuff, go back to the new house. So,
Yeah.
it's okay now though. It's good.
Yeah. Typical moving around, making sure you got everything, that kind of stuff. So I've remember last year that you joined the team during the season. You didn't start out with the Cubs. You were with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights in the Elite League. You played 4 games there, had I believe 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. So,
Yeah, that's right.
what made you want to move that jump from the elite level with Wilkes-Barre to the Cubs in the Premier League?
Well, I started out premier up there,
Okay.
played I think 2 games in showcases. Really wasn't getting the ice time, getting scratched. So they said, you can play elite. Went down, played elite for a couple games. Wasn't really happy with how it was going. I thought I could be in a better league. So I reached out to Brennan. He said he needed guys, and then it was just here I am now. So it worked out pretty well for me.
It all worked out. Simple as that. Because I
Mm.
remember last year they didn't even start out with a full roster, I think, to begin the season. So I'm not surprised he was like, "Hey, yeah, we'll take you." But
Yeah.
that's a great story. Like when you talk about it, you didn't get your playing time, you weren't really happy with how things were going there, and now fast forward roughly a year, and you're an assistant captain. What does that A mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I know the start of the season, I knew I was a returner. I knew how things were, how Brennan liked stuff. So I really tried to help out the guys, and I guess they thought I was a good fit for an assistant then. So
What's kind of like the style that you like to lead by? Is it more by example? Do you like to get the boys going, get them a little rowdy
uh,
before games?
probably more by example. I mean, I'm trying to be with boys with everyone, so we're keep things light in the locker room, joke around a little bit, and then when it's time to go, it's time to go. So that's how I try to lead with example.
What made you want to come back?
I had a lot of fun last year. I mean, I love the Hershey area.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the coaches. It was just a good fit. I thought, just knowing everyone and knowing how things are run, it's my last year, so I thought it would be just a good fit to come back to something I knew, and I liked Hershey last year, so that's part of it.
So when this episode comes out, it'll be the day of the teddy bear toss because I believe that is Friday. So coming off of last year, I don't remember who do you remember who scored the first goal last year for that?
I scored the goal
Was it
last.
you? Oh, now I
Yeah,
feel
I
like a
did.
jerk.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. What
No,
a
it's
what
cool.
a podcast host I am. That's awesome. But do you expect to try to do it again?
It would be pretty cool if I could do it twice. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting it last year, so it was cool when it happened though.
Just speak on that real quick. Like, I mean, I know Hershey is very, very impactful in the community with the Cubs organization in and of itself, but how cool is it to you to see all like everybody come out and help out and throw their teddy bears on the ice and or whether or not they donate as much as they can.
Oh, it's really cool for the players. I know that. This is like a big game for us on
Hmm.
Friday. And I mean, the whole season we've really had a good crowd for most of the games, so it's been cool this year. Different than last year.
Is there anybody trying to say like I'm gonna be the one to get him to throw it this year? Or is there like a lot of guys itching to try to get that first
I
goal?
I think everyone wants to be the first guy, but no one wants to say it. Like I think it's just I don't know. It, but everyone wants to be the first guy, I'm pretty sure. But
What so you guys are coming off a pretty interesting weekend. You played against Elmira. You beat them twice to start the season, and then you rip off 12 straight games, finally lose one, which kind of stinks because every
Mm-hmm.
single game you guys won was a new record. We always kept harping on that. Like, this is crazy. You guys are as hot as can be. You drop to Elmira on kind of a bum way to end it because you were tied going into it. You had a penalty, kind of screwed you guys over a little bit, but then you come into the next game and it was like back and forth, but you guys had a lot of time in the D zone. What was the final adjustment, or who got things going to try to finally say let's get things going on offense, and how'd you guys get that working?
We just kept chipping away, I think. They scored what was I think two. So
Yeah.
we were down for a little while there and we
Mm-hmm.
just kept chipping away. Nobody had any crazy plays really in that game. So we just kept to the game plan, played good defense, kept them out when, they were on the power play, which seemed like a lot. And it just the puck found its way in the net a few times and it was good. But we were all just really working hard that game and then they scored, with what, 8 seconds left in the third, and
Yeah.
but that we didn't think, that was it. We still thought we were gonna win the entire time, so we just kept with it the entire game, and it just came together at the end there.
Was that what was it on that final, or the goal with 8 seconds left? Wasn't it you who had that block shot before the next rebound try?
That was Jamie. He had that
That was
huge
Jamie.
block, and it just popped right back out to the guy, and Ma made the save, and then it just came right out to him again, and just
Yeah.
really bad luck there, but.
Just poor time because he had one heck of a game. Like, you guys,
Yeah.
like, they spent so much time in the D zone. You guys kept trying to get something going, but they always just kind of had their sticks in the way, it seemed, on some of your passes. Like,
Yeah.
usually you guys have a way of making those fast breaks and getting those odd man rushes, but their
Hmm.
D men played a good game themselves, respectively. But can you just speak on what that means to you as a skater when your goalie can just keep you in it for that long of a game? You shut him out the first period. They got one in the second, and that, or they got two in the, was it one in the second and then one in the third? But then, despite tying it, he still played his heart out in that overtime before you guys could finally punch that last goal in.
Yeah, it's good to know that the goalie can make a couple key saves when, you might do something wrong, you might turn over the puck, or even if they just get a shot through on you, and he can make that second and third save. And then they can go the other way and possibly score. It's great for us. And MA's been playing well all season long, I think. Even in the game that we lost, he stood on his head. So
Yeah.
it's
Him.
just
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, no.
I was gonna say him and Johnny. Johnny's been playing really well too when he gets his
Oh yeah.
chances.
Yeah, we've had really good goaltending this year. That's really helped us out in a couple games where it could have went the other way, and we just had better goaltending, and we just been seeming to find a way this year. I think some games we're down and out, and then we just rattle off a couple goals, and then the goalies stand on their head at the same time. So it's a key to success for us right now.
Now, obviously, it wasn't, unknown that there was some chirping going back and forth. It got a little physical. Some guys were done. I mean, what was it? Smith, I believe, took a puck to the chin, is what it seemed like, and he came back.
Hmm.
It was a very physical game. But how satisfying is that for you guys to pull that one out, make the comeback? They do tie it up, but then you shut them out in overtime and silence them. How satisfying is that?
Oh, it was so nice, especially their top guys. They were talking all day, the game before, this and that to us, and just for us to score in overtime like that, that was awesome because they thought they had it once they scored with 8 seconds, and then we come back down and score on them to win it. It was like it's a great way to win actually in overtime like that, especially after they beat us the day before and
Mm-hmm.
to Elmira especially.
Yeah. And did you guys have like a special emphasis for yourselves in knowing, like, I don't know how much scoreboard watching you guys do outside of, like, focusing up on the week, but going into that, I believe you guys were 4 points ahead of them in the standings, and then on Sunday it went down to two. Does that
Hmm.
play a factor at all?
I mean, we look at it, but I think we just try to focus on winning each game. So, we can only really focus on us at the same time. But those are games we have to win against Elmira and this week against Pal. Those are teams that are right behind us. So you just got to keep chipping away at those games that we can win, and we know we're the better team.
What kind of adjustments or scouting changes do you guys, not changes, but like how do you look at a game for number two when you got a guy like Lex Roldan who's high up there and their team leader in points and goals and everything like that, who didn't play the first game, but then he's going to be suited up for the second?
We I mean, obviously really wanted to get in his head a little bit there, and I think we did a good job, but just playing physical against those top guys, really, they don't like it. They don't like to be chirped. They don't like sticks at like on them, they don't like anything. So we did a pretty good job. He took a couple bad penalties, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we did a good job, but really didn't change much. We just kept our defensive scheme and things worked out for us in that game.
So my next question is, who is the best guy that's able to chirp the best? Like who talks the most and is able to get under the skin of the opposing players on the Cubs?
Oh, probably probably Carson Graney does it the best.
Why am I'm not surprised to hear that.
I mean, honestly, that entire line though, Carson, Marco, and JR, they love to go out there and chirp. It doesn't matter the score, doesn't matter who we're playing. They just go out there and they're pretty good at it. So it's good to have them on our team.
What's it like in the captain's, I should say room. I say room, but it's more like on like a quote because it's not a room. You guys are all one team. You all talk and communicate together. But how is it working with guys with MA, Tafo, and Gabriel Leduc? I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
blanked there for a second.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously I know Marco and MA from last year, so we are on the same page about a lot of stuff. But then Gabe also thinks the same way as me, and Evan too. He's also one of our assistants. So
Yes, my
we all get
apology. My
along.
apologies, Evan. I forgot again. I
No,
forgot you guys have
all
four.
good.
I'm blanking or how many you guys have. So my
Yeah.
bad.
But we all get along. We all see what needs to be done, and we're not too hard on the guys, but when we need to be, we are. And right now things are pretty good because we're winning. So it's light in the locker room. We're having fun, but as far as us as captains, we're all on the same page about stuff. And I think I know me and MA and Mark are all threes and Gabe's in 04, so a little bit older, so we know, and we've all played juniors before, so that helps a lot.
Now, where was I going with this? This is a great question. I had a question and now I lost it. Oh, right. So you had, what was it, last weekend or a couple weekends ago? You see the goal off of literally the body of Carson rocket off and go into the net for a freakish goal at a time where you guys were already blowing out the opposing team. But then you watch your captain go down on a short when you're shorthanded, and he just has all the hustle and heart in the world to try to get the puck on net, and then miraculously just kind of sees an opening. Like I talked to him about it after the game. I was like, "Did you bounce the puck off his head and go in? Like, how did you manage that? What kind of a like what's it like seeing like that kind of a good luck or plays like that happen for your own team when you're hot and when you're down and you're trying to get something to come back up?"
Yeah, I know the feeling as well. I mean, when you're on, and it's good, and then things just go your way all the time. It feels like for those couple games, and it's cool to score those like freaky ones that you wouldn't think go in. So, but when you're on, you're on. I completely agree about that.
Now, as you guys look forward to this weekend, another tough matchup. Not tough, but it's a big matchup because the Islanders are right behind you guys as well. Another team you're trying to keep at arm's length, excuse me, going into the break. What's this weekend mean for you guys, and how are you guys preparing?
We've been working on special teams and practice these past couple days, working on our D zone, and obviously we want to come away with 2 wins, especially in the teddy bear toss. But just been dialing it in a practice, working on the little stuff, getting ready for Pal. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, they might even be better than Elmira. We haven't played them this year, so it'll be a good test to see Elmira last week, Pal this week, see where we really are in the division.
Now, looking back at last year compared to this year, what do you think's been like the main difference between the two clubs and, the success rate of the Cubs this season?
I think this year, I think there's just more guys, like there's higher skill level this year. More guys come to the rink. They want to work hard. They want to practice. They want to do the little things to get better. And then it obviously translates to the ice. I mean, last year we had some guys that were dedicated and everything, but it kind of just some days it were better than others. And I think the skill level last year wasn't what it is this year. And I think that's really the big difference, obviously. And then the winning is part of it. Last year we still had fun, but we
Right.
weren't winning as much. So this year we're having a lot of fun and we're winning and we all seem to get along pretty well. So things are going good.
I'd say so. I mean, from afar, it looks like you guys are all having great chemistry. I mean, when you're out there, when things get tough, you guys get down in a game, you always seem to find a way to come back, and you guys just stick together. Like that chemistry is just something that I haven't seen before,
Mhm.
since I've been around Hershey and the Cubs and everything, and teams in general. Like you guys are pretty locked in together, and you always find a way to work together for the common goal, which is like you said, winning.
Mhm. Yeah. It's we have a good chemistry this year. I'd say on some of the lines especially too, like things are just clicking right now for us.
Um, I also wanted to ask you, so I'll bring this is usually Josh's question, but do you have any superstitions that you have to do before a game or during the week at all?
I don't know. I tape my sticks. I I don't know. This is kind of weird. I always drink a black coffee before the game. The guys kind of tell me about it, that it's how I always do it. So I guess I don't know. I mean, I run around the arena once or twice. Nothing too crazy though, honestly. I mean, I probably wait forever to get dressed before warm-ups too. That's probably the other thing. It just take a while.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
really, I
hey,
just hang out, before the game gets stretched out, nothing too serious.
yeah.
Just
That's
keep it
kind of
loose.
it's kind of crazy. You're younger than me and yet you're just drinking straight black coffee.
Yeah, yeah. They love to say stuff to me about it all the time too. So,
What what's the I guess the not worst, but like what's like the chirp that stuck with you the most that somebody's given you that was like the funniest?
ooh, I don't. That's a good one. I don't. They don't really chirp me. I'm pretty silent on the ice, so I don't. Guys don't really throw chirps my way. But
Well, I meant
I
like with the coffee, like
oh
from
oh
your own
they,
teammates.
they always just they always just call me old. They say you're drinking black coffee, like stupid stuff like that. But I don't know. Like it's always something about like that's awful or how do you drink that? It's just the same stuff every week though.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty good. Like you don't always need like everything else added into it. I mean, you see some videos on TikTok of people putting in a million different things, and it's like, are you gonna put any coffee in that drink, or is it like all extra stuff, and then you just like spray coffee in it? It's like weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
This generation's different. But
yeah.
do you have anything that you specifically? Oh, you said you only drink black coffee. Do you eat anything before the games? Because the weirdest thing I've heard so far is Tafo saying he doesn't eat, which I don't know how that even works energy
Yeah.
wise. But do you eat anything specific? Like, what do you like to eat before pregame?
Probably eat like eggs and bacon or something, a bagel. Pretty I eat the same thing probably every game. And then the night games are a little bit different though, because I gotta eat like a few hours before the game. I feel I can't eat 2 hours before, it's gotta be like 3 or 4. So usually like a
Right.
sandwich or something. But I don't know. I don't really eat that much either now that I think about it. Just a lot of water, Gatorade, I don't
So
couple
you got
protein powders.
okay. So
Yeah.
you guys had a team Christmas party last night. Speaking last night, I mean Tuesday of this past week. But
Mhm.
how did that go? Was that fun?
Yeah, we had fun. We built gingerbread houses. Some guys don't know how to build them, so that was funny to watch. But
Who
we had a
was
good
the
time.
who was the worst?
Oh, probably Luke Schaub was
Oh,
the
really?
worst. I think it's on Instagram actually. It's pretty bad. It like fell apart on him. It was
Oh,
it was so
geez.
funny.
Who made the best one?
Ooh, probably JR or Carson, I think, were the best. They had those little ones though, so it doesn't really count. They had little ones. We built big ones, so
Hey, bigger the better. And when you're done, you
yeah.
eat it, and you get more to eat if you do eat it. I mean, I know people do it for decoration, but I'm sure people just started like chowing down a little bit, like, hey,
Oh
free
yeah.
food a little
Yeah,
bit
while
here.
we were making them, yeah.
Since the holidays are coming up, do you do anything special for Christmas or anything like that with the family?
No, not really. Just hang out at home. Probably for the next couple weeks, that's all I'll do actually, just hang out at home. We I don't know, watch some Christmas movies, whatever, do a little Christmas shopping, but the holidays, Christmas break is a nice time to rest up and stuff for me, so
Yeah.
nothing too crazy for us.
How do you guys think you'll fare coming out of the break? I mean, I know you guys did very you drop after Thanksgiving, you had a week off. You come back and score 27 goals in 2 games. How do you think you'll manage the fare, and how do you guys stay in the groove coming back off of a longer break for coming up?
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a little bit of rust coming back. I mean, I our schedule gets pretty tough in the second half, so but guys will stay on the ice over break, I hope, and we have a couple practices I think before we play Buffalo, maybe. So
I believe so.
yeah,
I don't have
so
the schedule in front of me, but
I think so we'll have a couple practices. We'll get a couple games in before you really get the test going, and then I think we play like Utica a couple times, Wilkes-Barre in the second half. So it's gonna be a battle, I think, more than the first half.
now we last week we talked to Coach Brady about the differences between regular season games and like a 2 game weekend series where you get 1 game each day, whether it's Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, compared to the showcases. But what's it like from a player's perspective where you got to fit 4 games in 2 days, and especially in your last one where you guys won every single one of them?
Yeah, that Detroit showcase was a lot. I mean, the first day we were there, I think we had an 8 a.m. against a
Oof.
really good team. And then we played, I think, at 2 or 3 then that afternoon. So not a very long break. And then we play the next day and the next day again. So, and then it's just it's a lot for 4 games, for junior games at least. And then to win them all is a good test for us. I think we were the better team in all those games, and we were probably better conditioned as well. So that's a big part of it. And those were good tests against those teams out there. So we took that momentum into the break, I think, and then obviously we took it against the Aviators and Elmira.
How do you keep your legs fresh and keep your body rejuvenated, especially when you have such a short break in between 2 different games?
We took a lot of naps. We drank a lot of water. We didn't really do anything crazy, We went for a couple walks around the hotel and whatever, but didn't really do anything. Ate a couple meals with the team there, and then just got back into it. Just kept going, I think. And we have a lot of depth on our team as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
if some guys are off in the showcase games, other guys are gonna step up. That's just how it is for our team this year.
But what's it like to have that kind of depth, for any game, whether it's a showcase or, just a regular weekend series? Because Coach Brady talked about that, about how much depth you guys have and how that's been such a big difference this year as compared to last year.
Yeah, I think there's games when you don't have your best stuff, and you can look at the other lines and you can see them going. So it's good to know that there's other guys on the bench that are bringing their best that day, and they can pick it up for you. And as well as with the depth, if you're not doing too good in a game or practice, you're always the chance of you getting scratched. So it keeps you engaged all the time, I'd say. And then when you're not going, you get scratched, so it makes you want to keep going even harder than the next game to play. So
Right.
it's a good balance this year of having enough scratches that you're never too comfortable with your spot.
Now, my one other question would be, what was the feeling like, and what was the message on the bench? I know I'm kind of all over the place with this today. I haven't done a podcast just by myself in a little while. I give a lot of credit to Josh for having his own questions and follow-ups and everything like that and keeping it rolling. But what was it like when that tying goal went in? You're feeling like, oh, we're so close to getting that win and getting a huge comeback win. But what was the message on the bench to come back out and try to win this game and have a big momentum booster going, almost into break?
Oh man. Uh I think we knew we were gonna win that game, so there wasn't really much said to us other than just go out there and finish the job. So we executed and then it went our way that day. I think that's the big thing. We were the better team, I feel like. So things just have a way of working out sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing. Like, you guys are 100% like the better team than what you guys have faced for the majority of the teams and games you've played in. And going back to the depth, like, you guys have anybody on any given line that can put up some points, get the assists, get the goals. Whereas you face a team like Elmira where they have like there's certain guys like Lex Roldan, who I believe scored twice that game. But when other teams have to rely on just such a small handful of guys, you guys just have the ability to strike at any given line, whether it's the top line or the bottom line, or even like the 13th man. It's
Hmm.
very impressive.
Yeah, I think like our top three lines, everybody has 20 points or something crazy. So
Yeah.
like scoring in depth is probably the best I've ever really been a part of as a team, where there's not just one guy leading the way with 50 points or something crazy. So, but honestly, every line can score. I mean, everyone can score. It's just it's a good balance, I think, this year, especially compared to last year where there was just a couple guys that were really leading the way. This year, everyone gets involved.
Yeah, who I have one final like question here about, I guess it's regarding teammates, but who do you think's gonna wind up on top in the points leaderboard for your team? I mean, Carson's got 32 and David's got 28. Barring anybody else, I mean, rightfully yourself, you're up there a little bit too. You got 20 yourself. You're the one, two, three, four, five, six. You're the eighth man to get up to at least 20 points. But I mean, you still got half a season to go. But right now, Carson and David are at the top, kind of fighting tooth and nail. It sort of feels like every other game to get those points up. But who do you think might come out on top?
I gotta say Dave because he's my line mate. Uh no, but he's been feeding me the puck. I've been giving the puck to him, so I think we're reading off each other. I think he'll get a bunch in the second half, especially then. So I'm gonna go with Dave, I think. Dave will
Okay,
end up out.
you're just gonna help him out a little bit more extra.
Yeah, yeah. I'll help him out.
Is there how much competition is there between the lines? Like, oh, we got this and we got that, like between everybody.
Oh, there's competition there. Yeah. There's everyone. Obviously my line with me and Dave and Bob. We think we're the best, so we go out there and practice and tell everyone. And then JR's line, so and then Gabe's line. So we all just really compete and I don't know. But we all score, so it doesn't really matter. And then we all get points and because it's just fun to compete with each other though.
And a little competition on your own team never hurts. It just motivates everybody to do better.
Hmm. Yeah.
So with that, I think we're about to wrap this one up here in a little bit. But any final thoughts as we wrap it up here as we get to the end of this episode and closer to another weekend of Cubs hockey?
Just I don't know. I think we just been working hard this year. It just feels different. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's nice to be part of a winning team like this, especially where we can win consecutively and then win against good teams is the big thing too. We were just beating okay teams, and now we're proving that we can beat good teams. So hopefully we can continue this weekend against Pal and the Teddy Bear Toss too. That's a game we all look forward to on the team.
It's always circled every single year.
Yeah. So it's been good though. The season's been good so far for me and the team.
All right. Well, with that, Ben, hey, thanks, man, for joining me on this edition of The Roar.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I'm Clay Thomas. Find us on YouTube, Hershey Cubs The Roar, or as well at Hershey Cubs on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, or Hershey Cubs on Facebook. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on all accounts. Fear the Roar.